Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Haley and you're watching Between the Pages. As you can see that I am not in my normal spot. I'm actually out in my living room area filming in front of my lovely bookshelves that you guys never get to see anymore. And the reason for that is I have an unhaul for you. I figured since it's almost the end of the year that I would show you some books that will not be continuing on in 2024 to be on my shelves for various reasons. So let's just get into it. So the first thing I have is The Case Files of Sherlock Holmes by Dr. John Watson. I bought this when I was like really obsessed with Sherlock Holmes. Still am, but I'm not as obsessed anymore. And it has like removable things that are based on stories. So like this one is A Scandal in Bohemia, and it has like letters and things like that. And it's kind of like as if John Watson wrote it. And we have some of the inserts, like this is, I believe this is of Irene Adler. And we have like a letter or like a police report, things like that. So it had like removable stuff, and I kind of bought it like on a whim. I think it was on like Barnes & Noble's like discount thing. So like discounted books. So yeah, I went ahead and bought that, but like I never ever look at this, so it doesn't need to be on my shelves. And the second one is The Complete Book of Ghosts. This showed up in my reacting to 2019's like books I need to read list, and this was on it. This is kind of like a reference book about like ghosts and stuff because I love ghosts, but I have so many ghost books up on this shelf that you can't see. It's like my nonfiction shelf and stuff, so I don't feel like I actually need this. And this next one is What We Saw, The Events of September 11th in Words, Pictures, and Videos. I'm weird in that I'm obsessed with macabre things and instances of mass death, because I'm weird like that, and dark and cloudy and everything. So I went ahead and bought this because this fascinates me. I was, I think, in second grade, first or second grade, when 9/11 happened, because I'm 29. And I remember it being just a normal day. Like, I don't remember anything really from that day, being like, nothing stands out to me. My mom didn't come and pick me up from school or anything because we didn't have anybody that we knew in the Twin Towers. So I went ahead and bought this. Again, I think it was on like Barnes & Noble's bargain books section. So I went ahead and bought it, and I have never really looked at it. So it doesn't need to be here. These next ones are a combination of books that I have purchased myself and books that have come in Owlcrate boxes. So some of these I will be selling at a convention, probably next year, just kind of like to make some money on the side, because I don't want to sell them on Mercari or eBay or whatever. So the first one I have is Ned Vizzini's Be More Chill. I bought this because I'm obsessed with the Broadway musical, or off-Broadway. I mean, it went to Broadway for like 2 months and then closed. So I bought this because I wanted to know what the source material was, and I didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed the musical adaptation more, which is surprising because normally it's the other way around. So yeah, this one I think I might actually donate to, there's a little library on the square, so like a little free public library, and I might donate that to that so people can discover this book. This next one is an Owlcrate book, and it's one that I did not really enjoy that much, and that is I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Nazrishi. I did not like the ending of this. You can go see my review on my channel for why I didn't really care for this. I even have the Dear Reader letter still in it, which is why I kind of want to try and sell this, so it's going to go in its own special little pile. The next one is another Owlcrate book, and that is Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. This is a retelling of Count of Monte Cristo, which I have never read. And I keep telling myself I'm going to buy the sequel, and I just never do, and It's been sitting on my shelf for I don't even know how long, and I'm never going to continue in this series, and so it needs to go. Even though it's an Owlcrate book, it has to do a reader letter, it's signed and everything, but I don't want to keep books that I'm just not going to continue. So yeah, this one's going away. This next one is an Owlcrate book. And that is The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. I did enjoy this book. I really did. But the more and more I look at it, I'm just like, I don't really remember much about what happened. And I don't think I'm going to continue in this series. So I'm just going to get rid of it. It is really pretty. And like I said, I did enjoy this book. But the more it sits on my shelf, the less and less I want to continue. And so it just doesn't need to be here because as you can see, my shelves are very full, especially this shelf. The shelf right here, I'm running out of room. So yeah, this one's going away. This next one I don't think will be a surprise to anybody, and that is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This was another Owlcrate book. It's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. Oh, and I forgot to mention this one is like a retelling of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. And I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it at the same time. I remember thinking that I don't buy the romance between the main character, Julie, I think her name is Juliet, and then Roma. And it was about like feuding gangs, and that's not really a trope that I like in my fiction. I don't really do the whole gang war, mafia, families against each other. It's not something that interests me, so that was already going against it. I do love Romeo and Juliet, and I do love the things that she did in this book, but I don't want to continue. I really don't. And then I don't want to read the follow-up duology or trilogy or whatever about Rosalind and everything about her. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't want to continue in this series. I remember the dust jacket's very pretty. Like, I do like the dust jacket and the art, but I don't want to continue in this series. I don't want to read the sequel. This next one might be kind of sad for a lot of you because a lot of you know that I love Tudor history, and that is The Dead Queen's Club by Hannah Capin. This is purely because I don't read a lot of contemporaries. As you can tell, I don't have a lot of contemporary up here, and a lot of the contemporary that is up here is published fan fiction. Or a lot of this, actually, like this last section right here is like speculative fiction. So it's like contemporary, but with some supernatural and like magical plot points and stuff like that. So yeah, I did enjoy this book, I did, but I just don't want it on my shelf because these shelves at the beginning of the year are going to go through a refresh and things are going to move and be recategorized and stuff like that. And I need more room on my shelves, and I just don't read contemporary that much anymore. So that's why this one's going away. This next one is The Merciless by Danielle Vega. I did enjoy this book, and it was very interesting. I think I described it as like Mean Girls meets The Craft in my book review. But I read this so long ago, I think I wrote it like 3 or 4 years ago, that I have no desire to pick up the sequel. I purely kept it because I thought it was really cool and I liked the concept. But there were some points that were really hard to follow, and I feel like it was graphic for no reason. And so, yeah, I don't want this on my shelf anymore, so it's going goodbye. And the next one is White Stag by Canna Barbary. This was a Wattpad book published by their imprint Pandean or Wednesday Books. I don't really know. But yeah, I read this, and it took so long for the sequel to come out that by the time the sequel did come out, I was like, oh, I don't really care anymore. And I remember that there were some elements in here that I was like, I don't understand how we got to this point. So yeah, again, this was removed from my fantasy shelf because I'm running out of room on my fantasy shelf. So sacrifices had to be made. So we're all about being a lot of these on here. I have had to be ruthless because I need space on my shelves. So, like I said, sacrifices must be made. This next one will come as a surprise to none of you who have seen this review, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I will not elaborate. If you want to know my thoughts on this book, you can go watch my review on it, and you will understand why this will not live on my shelves. The next one is Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delara. I know she's written more stuff since this, but I think this was like her debut or something. Again, it's a contemporary. I don't really read contemporaries anymore. I only bought it because it was blurbed by Stephen Chbosky, who wrote my favorite book of all time, Perks of Being a Wallflower. So that's the only reason why I bought this. And I remember when I first started reading it, I was like, oh, this is very juvenile. Like, it reads like a younger YA book, kind of. So I didn't really enjoy it. I think I read like, oh, I still have a bookmark in here. Oops. A bookmark that I have no recollection of ever making. Maybe my best friend made this. I don't know. There are stickers from things, and I don't know where the stickers came from. So I don't know if that's mine or if my friend made that for me. I have no clue. But yeah, I got like 50 pages in, maybe 75, and I was like, this does not interest me anymore. So, and again, I started this so long ago. I think this was like 2017, 2018 when I purchased this, and I was like, it reads like a younger YA book, and again, I don't read contemporaries that much anymore, so it had to go. This next one is Sherlock Holmes and the King's Evil by Donald Thomas. This was one of these where someone took Sherlock Holmes and John Watson as like characters and like made their own stories about them. So basically Sherlock Holmes fanfiction, essentially. I think Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain, isn't it? I think it might be in the public domain. I will research that, and then I will put it right here at the bottom of this video. But I do believe it's in the public domain, so people can do whatever they want with Sherlock Holmes and anything. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think I only read, oh, I took the bookmark out of this one, good. I think I only read like 20 pages of this, and like I said, I am a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes still, but I think I'm more interested in the actual stories written by Arthur Conan Doyle himself, rather than people who just made up their own stories about Sherlock Holmes and John Watson. So that's why I'm getting rid of this one. And this next thing, I don't know what to do with. This is one of these like preview things for Chain of Gold. Last Hour's book 1 by Cassandra Clare. I have no clue who this is about. I don't know what the couples are. I think I saw Tessa's name. Yeah, Tessa and James, their children. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know because I don't care. I don't care about the shadow hunters anymore. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I might stick this in the little library, or yeah, I'm not entirely sure where this is going to go, but it's going to go somewhere. And then these two make me very sad. And that is the Vampire Knight Volume 1 and 2. I adore the anime. I love the anime. But I watched a video on like what happens in this manga, and it just goes like balls to the wall, like off the rails. And I'm just like, I have no desire to read these now. And I'm pretty sure that if I did know, because I know what goes on in Black Butler. I do know the twists in Black Butler, and I am fully on board with that. But this, the twists and the things in this, I'm just like, no, thank you. I'll stick to the anime. The anime, love the anime. This next one was an ARC, so it's definitely going to go in the little library, and that is The Sullivan Sisters by Catherine Ormsby. I won this in a Goodreads giveaway. I forget how long ago. When did it say it was published? I think it was published in like September of last year or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't really say. Oh, I was so wrong. Apparently it went on sale May 26th of 2020, so been a while. Don't know why I thought September. But this was an arc that I won in a Goodreads giveaway. Their like first reads program or whatever. And I read it and I did like it. It was very interesting. It would make a very interesting movie. Like it kind of read like a Lifetime movie almost, with like the reveals and stuff like that. So yeah, I did enjoy this, but again, I don't read contemporary that much. When it comes to contemporary, I only want contemporary on my shelves that I really, really liked, unless you're Winterwood. I still hate Winterwood. You can actually see it right here. Nope, here. You can see Winterwood right here. It's still on my shelf, but that's because it's pretty, so it's allowed to stay. Otherwise, it would not be on my shelf, but it's pretty, so it can stay. And this next one I read for, I think I was reading a couple years ago when I did my fairy TBR, which I tend to do towards the beginning of every year, around like January, February. And I read the first book in the Iron Fae series, and that's The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. I only picked this up because Julie Kagawa wrote Shadow of the Fox. Sorry, I was thinking the Soul Sword or Soul Stealer or something like that is like the second book in the series that I haven't picked up yet. But Shadow of the Fox is actually right here on this shelf right here, the bright red book right there. I did enjoy that, so I'm going to keep that one, and I do want to continue in that series. But this one I don't, because I read it, and this was published back in like 2010, I think, somewhere in the 2010s, and it reads, oh my god, it reads like it is from that time. When was this? Yeah, 2010 copyright. It reads like it's from the 2010s, like the tropes and the way it's written. It was written in the 2010s. You can tell it is from that time. And I read this in, I think, 2020. It's either 2019 or 2020. So I was coming to it 10 years after it had been published, and oof, it was not good. I think if I continued in the series, I would do it on audiobook, because that's where I listen to my guilty pleasures. Like that's how I listen to the Sticky Stackhouse books, and I'm going to listen to the entire House of Night series, and like kind of like revisit things from that time, because when I'm listening to an audiobook, a lot of times I'm like, I just want to have fun, you know, especially if I have it on in the background while I'm like cleaning or playing my Switch or coloring or crafting or something. I want a fun audiobook. So I think I would probably audiobook this. This next one is I think almost one of the very first Owlcrate books I ever got, and that is Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I kept this for the longest time because it's like a retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I've never read A Midsummer Night's Dream. I've never seen any adaptations of it. But I kept it because it was one of the very first ones I ever got. And this one, it was actually before they started doing signed editions, so it has the book plate in it. So yeah, I kept this for the longest time, and again, I don't read contemporary that much. That's why my entire When Dimple Met Rishi series is gone. I don't have that on my shelves anymore. As you can tell, my contemporary shelf is very small. I have some right here that I'm going to do a special TBR for eventually. They've been sitting there for like 6 months. But I will be doing a special TBR with these books right here. So if you want to guess what the theme is, it is not contemporary. That is not the theme of these books right here. But if you can guess them, I might do it sooner. But only if you guess correctly. And then the last one I have is another Owlcrate book. I thought there were more Owlcrate books, but there's not. This only makes 6, so that's pretty dang good. Considering I've been a subscriber to Owlcrate for like 5 years now, and I don't think I've ever gotten rid of, no, I did. I got rid of Pride by E.B. Zaboy because I didn't enjoy that book. I gave that to my former best friend and roommate before she went on a cruise, because I was like, here, you're gonna have like 2 days at sea, so here, have a book. So I gave her that book. So this next book is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyengen. I always mispronounce her last name because I can't remember how it's pronounced. And I enjoyed this book for the most part. And I told myself that I was going to continue it, but then I didn't. And I think it's mainly because I didn't really care about the relationship between the main character and her love interest. I thought it was interesting how it was like kind of like a forbidden romance between the two of them. But other than that, I didn't really care until they were like, we're going to hatch a plot to kill the king. Then I was like, okay, I'm on board. Let's do this. And then it ended and I was like, okay, I don't want to continue this anymore. I have no clue what happens in further books, and I don't care to. So this book is going goodbye. Okay, so that was all my books that I'm unhauling for 2023. As you can tell on my channel, I don't do unhauls very often because I don't purge my bookshelves very often. But like I said, I am running out of room on certain shelves and sacrifices must be made. So yeah, let's count up and see how many books. I forget how many books I got rid of in 2021, 2022. I don't know. I did a book haul or a book unhaul a couple years ago before I moved, and I don't remember how many I unhauled then. I think it was like 30 or 40. I don't know. I got rid of quite a few books in that one. So let's see how many got rid of this time. So I counted 20 books that are getting unhauled, which is quite a bit. quite a bit. I honestly thought there were more. I thought there were more because I've had 2 stacks. I had 1 stack on my kitchen table and then I had one right here next to the bookshelves, and I thought it was more than 20, so apparently it's not. So yeah, that is my video for you guys today, and I guess I will see you guys later. Bye!